Everyone tells you the same advice about money: save it, protect it, prepare for the future. But the most important financial lesson I ever learned began with 3 shocking words from my grandfather: never save money. I thought he was joking. How could saving money be wrong? Then he told me a story. A story about a man who spent most of his life waiting for the perfect moment, and almost lost everything because of it. And what he discovered later completely changed how I understand money today. In a small village surrounded by dry land and endless skies lived an old man everyone knew. Not for success, not for wisdom, but for dreaming. Every morning he sat under a large tree near the road while the village moved around him. Farmers walked past carrying tools. Children laughed on their way to school. Merchants opened their shops. And he watched, imagining a different life. He would whisper, "One day I will open a shop. One day I will own animals. One day I will become rich." People laughed at him, at first loudly, later, quietly. Eventually, they stopped laughing at all. Because dreams repeated for years start to sound like excuses. At home, reality felt heavier. His wife woke before sunrise every day. She cooked simple meals, washed clothes by hand, and carefully counted every coin they had. Their house was small. The roof leaked during rain. The walls carried the marks of time. One evening, while serving a very small dinner, she said gently, "Dreams are beautiful, but they do not feed a family." The old man nodded. But inside, he still believed life would somehow change on its own. And that belief slowly stole years from him. Years passed. Money became scarce. Food portions grew smaller. One cold night, his granddaughter slowly approached him. The little girl was barefoot. Hungry. "Grandpa, is there bread tonight?" The grandmother opened the cupboard. Empty. No bread. No rice. Nothing. The silence in that room felt louder than any noise. And in that moment, something broke inside the old man. That night he did not sleep. He stared into darkness and realized a painful truth. Dreaming is comfortable, but reality demands action. Before sunrise the next morning, he left the house to find work. It was the first time in years he acted instead of imagined. He became a field worker. The sun burned his skin. Dust filled his lungs. Heavy tools bruised his shoulders. Every evening he returned home exhausted with only a few coins in his hand. But something new appeared in his heart. Dignity. For the first time, he felt he was moving forward, even slowly. Still, money disappeared quickly. Food ended. Repairs cost money. Illness came unexpectedly. One afternoon at the village store, he overheard men talking. The secret to safety, one man said confidently, is saving money. Those words stayed with him all night. He found a glass jar and hid it under his bed. Each week he dropped coins inside. Clink, clink. Hope began to sound like metal touching glass. One day his granddaughter asked, "What is this jar?" The old man smiled proudly. "This," he said, "is our tomorrow." But what happened next, he never expected. Months later, the jar became full. He felt safe for the first time in years. He walked to the market with confidence and placed the coins on the counter. "I want 3 sacks of corn." The shopkeeper counted slowly, then shook his head. "Prices have gone up. This buys only 1.5. The old man stood frozen. Months of sacrifice, months of saving, and still, not enough. That evening he sat outside watching neighbors return home carrying milk, vegetables, eggs, products from their own small work. They weren't rich, but they weren't afraid either. And suddenly, a small idea appeared. He turned to his granddaughter. "What if we buy chickens?" This time he didn't wait. No someday. No dreaming. Only action. He used all his savings to buy a few thin chickens. The little girl laughed with excitement. "Grandpa, we have our own egg factory." At first, only 1 egg appeared. Then 2. They ate some. sold some. With the earnings, they bought another chicken. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into change. The old man began writing everything in a notebook. Every egg, every sale, every improvement. Neighbors started visiting regularly. The once quiet home filled with conversation and laughter again. For the first time in his life, he wasn't just earning money. He was creating something that produced money, and that changed everything. One morning he held a warm egg in his hand and called his granddaughter. "Do you see this?" "Yes. This egg is stronger than a jar full of money." The girl was confused. The old man smiled. Money sitting still becomes smaller, but money used wisely becomes alive. Tears filled his eyes. Because he finally understood the years he had lost, and the future he had finally begun to build. My grandfather finished the story and looked at me. "Saving money is not wrong," he said. "But saving without growing is slow poverty. Money hidden stays small. Money invested learns to work for you. So don't wait for someday. Start small. Start scared. Start imperfectly. Because sometimes, a single small egg is enough to change an entire life. And maybe, your future doesn't need more money. Maybe it just needs one small beginning." If this story made you think differently about money, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Because the right idea, at the right time, can change a life.